Everything I've said was completely for naught. Thank you so much, Ed and Badger. I'm telling you, things are wild right now. So you can hear me now. Uh, I'm Clint Foster. My life is bananas. I'm having to do a little bit of an abridged show today. Having to run and get my wife from the airport. I got things started as quick as I could. Sorry, it's later than the initially posted 5:30 start time. But what I was saying, those of y'all who are here, those of y'all who knew that this thing was starting early today, is because you subscribed. Okay, so once again, now that I got my sound on, please do subscribe to. There it is for you right there at Big 12 VOCFB. This is how you're going to get to be a part of the Biggest 12 community. We're trying to grow this community, right? Trying to extend the invitation to all those Big 12 lovers out there. And again, just for clarification, it's been a bananas weekend for me. I've been so busy. The reason that my Kansas State Big TCU video came out so late and it is so short, it's not because I was in the depths of depression, as you might assume. Things are what they are. The sun rises. I'm not as ruled emotionally by this game as I used to be. Thank you, Lord. But it's just literally, I didn't have a moment until Monday night after the Rangers game to be like, oh my God, I have got to get some, this will be funny. I had a full script written out. I'm like, let's just put this out there into the world. And, hopefully people won't miss me, bemoaning TCU situation for a full 5 minutes and, or however long it usually takes. So, let's get right into it. Got a lot to talk about. What a wild week it was, man. And, we'll get to TCU when we get to him, but we've got to talk about Houston and UCF, man. Oh, my gosh. What missed opportunities. Oklahoma, y'all. Oklahoma wants to drop a game so bad. They want to drop a game so bad. Which one it's going to be, who's to say? But UCF had a golden opportunity to beat the Oklahoma Sooners this last week. I'm sure you all saw it. I'm sure you all saw the most puzzling 2-point play you could have possibly drawn up, right? Why are we running a, halfback pass when you haven't had trouble moving the ball? Why? You know what? This is one of those moments where an offensive coordinator is trying to think themselves out of a plastic bag, right? You don't need to do this. You don't need to get cute with it. You could have just done a standard hitch probably and gotten those 2 points. Then it's a tie ball game, and look what happens. Instead, UCF falls to Oklahoma 31-29. The pain for our Golden Knight brethren. Still searching for that first win over a Big 12 legacy team. And elsewhere, the team that was first to get that legacy win, Houston. Oh my gosh, Houston. Like another one, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. But this one you can't even blame on Houston, right? I mean, that was one of the most blatantly horrible spots of a ball when Houston very clearly got that first down, right? And the ball instead goes to UT on a turnover on downs. Oh, my good gravy. Like, do the Big 12 officials, do they not know that they're supposed to be screwing over UT and OU? They're not supposed to be screwing over people in favor of UT and OU. I feel like the pendulum swung too far the opposite direction after Brett Yormark made that joke. Oh, my gosh. Houston, I feel for you. Here's the other thing, though. We've talked so much about Dana being on the hot seat. Here, Jackson's already asking again, do you Malzahn's on the hot seat? I mean, after Houston's win over West Virginia, after the great performance against Texas, is Dana still on the hot seat? I don't know. I wish we had some Houston people in the chat to give me their perspective. Is Gus Malzahn on the hot seat? I mean, hey, if he wins that Oklahoma game, maybe we're talking about something different. But that 2-point play, you got to be thinking really seriously now if you're UCF, right? This Big 12 debut has not gone the way that it was supposed to go. And, maybe you do need to ask the hard questions. Also, did Neil Brown ruin the goodwill he had from the last 4-game win streak? I don't know that he did. I mean, Oklahoma State, that's a team you got to give a lot of credit where credit's due. And let's go ahead and talk about that game. Ollie Gordon, the Oklahoma State running back, Euless Trinity product, by the way, out of DFW. What a season he's been putting together. Oklahoma State wins 48-34 over West Virginia in Morgantown. Certainly not something that a lot of us saw coming. And Gundy, the stock arrow is pointing up. Neil Brown, the stock arrow, to me, it's kind of staying stagnant, right? Oklahoma State that was going to be a rock fight. I still think that what Neil Brown has done good things with this West Virginia squad this year, all things being considered. Yes, Paul, you are absolutely right. Houston got screwed, majorly screwed. It's not okay. Not okay, not okay, not okay. But yeah, Oklahoma State, I mean, don't look now, but Oklahoma State is, they're putting themselves in a position to, if things fall the right way, they might just be able to sneak their way into the Big 12 title game, which is something that I feel like a lot of us did not see coming. They got the one conference loss to Iowa State, who also is looking better than they initially seemed, by the way. Gosh, I mean, who's to say? It's like we were talking about this last week. Who wants to be in third place, right? Outside of Texas and Oklahoma, this league is wide stinking open. And even Texas and Oklahoma seem to be very intent on dropping as many games as humanly possible. I mean, my goodness. Yes, you are right, Paul. Oklahoma State sitting at 5-2 overall. They're 4-1 in conference. Or not 4-1. Hold on. I think I just said something wrong. They are 3-1 in conference. 3-1 in conference. 5-2 overall. Those losses coming to Iowa State and South Alabama. USA. Crazy. Okay. Another one, just quickly running through these games. Yeah, let's talk about my Frogs. Let's talk about the worst performance by TCU, arguably since 1993. TCU has not been held to 3 points in a game since 1993. And that was Texas A&M in the old Southwest Conference days. And man, aren't you glad that you spent all of that goodwill and all of that moral capital to go out there and hire an offensive coordinator who is definitely not controversial at all and definitely 100% worth the price tag that we paid? Jeez Louise, man. Outside of that BYU game, TCU has scored fewer points every single week. They're a disaster. TCU is a disaster in the red zone. The 3-5 defense never looked so bad as it did against Kansas State. The Frogs knew exactly what Kansas State was going to do. They weren't doing anything complicated. Quarterback power, swing passes on the outside. Sonny Dykes said it. Kansas State could have scored 100 points in that game if they wanted to, right? And Kansas State, hey, the Cats looked dang good, but let me tell you something. TCU has problems because Kansas State is not 41-3 better than TCU. They aren't, right? And TCU has got to figure itself out. We absolutely do. It's to say that this season fell short of expectations would be a gross understatement. The Frogs, everyone anticipated a step back. Almost everyone was saying 8 wins, 7 wins. If things don't break our way, we'll feel good about it. Instead, and there was a lot of excitement because of some reports out of practice and, hey, there's a lot of talent on this team. Maybe we could challenge for 10 wins. Maybe we could put ourselves in that Big 12 championship conversation with Texas and Oklahoma. Has not been the case, man. And when you are scratching and clawing to get into a bowl game after appearing in the national championship the previous season, that requires a serious look in the mirror by this TCU coaching staff. Not great, friends. Not great at all. More love for Ollie Gordon in the chat. Ollie Gordon's back-to-back weekly honors, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week, Doak Walker National Running Back of the Week, Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award Player of the Week. Yeah, man, he's freaking earned it. Ollie Gordon. And it's like, why was he not getting more looks out of high school, right? I mean, those of us in DFW were like, yeah, we've seen this kid. He's pretty dang good. And he's big, and he's athletic. You know what? Good for him getting his opportunity finally at Oklahoma State. He's turning it into something. Thurman Thomas clone. I don't know. Was Thurman Thomas that big, though? Ollie Gordon seems kind of big. I mean, he's definitely adding to that legacy, that Thurman Thomas, Barry Sanders legacy of running backs there at Oklahoma State. So, Frogs are a nightmare. Kansas State very comfortably putting themselves in that third place conversation. Frogs, got a bye week that we'll probably lose. We'll probably find a way to lose the bye week, and then we'll be in a slap fight for the saddle in Lubbock on a Thursday night. Whew, Lord have mercy. Baylor beating Cincinnati. This is another one that a lot of us didn't see coming. Baylor beating Cincinnati 32-29. Cincinnati, man, the future is not looking bright for Cincinnati in the Big 12, man. You can't beat Baylor at home. This Baylor team at home, man, you might be a cellar dweller for a while until you sort things out. That's not a good look. Not a good look at all. Cincinnati sitting at 2-5. Baylor sitting at 3-4 with a mathematical possibility of getting to a bowl game. That would certainly be a huge boon for Dave Aranda and his guys. But not great. And BYU picking up their first win over a legacy Big 12 school, beating Texas Tech 27-14, the other flaming dumpster fire in the Big 12 besides TCU, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, and another team falling dramatically short of expectations. And spitting in a BYU's player's face on the way out of there. So, congratulations to BYU. That certainly makes our performance, TCU's performance against BYU, look that much better and that much more puzzling that we were able to perform that great against BYU and then completely forget how to pass block and completely forget how to play defense and how to catch balls and how to, give the ball to Amani Bailey. You know what? I'm liable to get on a soapbox here and I don't have time to do that. How? I don't know how many of y'all actually watched that whole TCU Kansas State game. Hopefully most of you who aren't TCU fans spared yourself of that experience. What are we doing only giving Amani Bailey the ball 10 times? I mean, I understand we're down in that game, but dude is our most reliable weapon on offense. He's an insanely talented running back. He finds a way to get into open space, even when our offensive line looks as clueless as they did this last weekend. Why are we only giving him the ball 10 times? It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. Okay? It's too much. It's too much. All right. So that's the week that was. Let's preview the week that's about to be. Again, like I said, I apologize for having to move quickly today, having to go pick up my wife from the airport, but I still want to make sure that I had some time to talk Big 12 football with my biggest 12 fam. So, first game on the docket, 11 a.m. There's 3 games in the 11 a.m. slot. Oklahoma going to Lawrence to play Kansas. Okay? Number 6, Oklahoma, a 9.5-point favorite against the Jayhawks. Still playing good old quarterback Bean down there. Here's the thing. Oklahoma should beat Kansas. Kansas is a good team, though, right now. Okay? Oklahoma showed they're vulnerable against UCF. Am I prepared to outright pick Kansas to win this game? Not necessarily. But I think Kansas could have a very strong showing. This feels like a game that Kansas could, be like, hey, y'all don't know what game to watch at 11 a.m.? Turn on this Kansas-Oklahoma game. Kansas is trying to make something happen, okay? I'd love to know what y'all think in the chat. I am, Will, you're right. If Jalen Daniels starts to be a great game, yes. Now, Bean isn't a slouch, okay? Not as good as Jalen Daniels, but you know what? As long as Jalen Daniels is not playing, I'm not prepared to pick Kansas to win this game, but I think they cover that 9.5-point spread. I think they make Oklahoma sweat. I think that they could be, 31-28 type situation, very similar to this UCF game, right? So that's Kansas and Oklahoma. Again, let me know what y'all are thinking about any of these games, and we'll get y'all amplify your voices here. Houston following up their heartbreaker, their absolute screw job with a trip to Manhattan, Kansas. Man, 17-point spread. I think that's fair. Houston's coming off an emotional game. It's very easy to get yourself hyped to play Texas for the first time since 2002. That old Southwest Conference rivalry. Those suckers who left you in the dirt. Man, I know what that feels like, okay? But it's hard to follow up a heartbreaker like that with a strong performance against a team that is absolutely rolling in Kansas State. Kansas State looks good. That defense is active. They get pressure. Man, can I tell you that they get pressure. And Avery Johnson and Will Howard are both looking strong. They can both run. They can both throw. I don't see this one ending well for Houston. I think Kansas State covers that 17-point spread. I think that Kansas State has a second straight blowout on their hands. Yes, Wet Blanket. Smash the like button. Hit that subscribe button. Let's grow this biggest 12 family. UCF still searching for that first Big 12 win. Hosting West Virginia. Okay, 2 teams that are not totally pleased with their current circumstances. I think West Virginia, this is a get-right game for them. If you can believe it or not, UCF is a 7-point favorite in this game. Okay? This game that very well could develop into a nice little rivalry if UCF gets on the trajectory that they, could be, right? I'm taking West Virginia in this one. I like West Virginia on the road. I think it's one that they have to grit their teeth and gut out, okay? But I think they win a close one in Orlando at the Bounce House, okay? Yo, forgive me. My sinuses are acting. We got some rain rolled in here in Fort Worth today, and it's doing something with my nostril area. Okay. Iowa State on the road at Baylor. 2.5-point favorite, Iowa State. Ugh, this game could get ugly. And not ugly in the TCU Kansas State sense, ugly in the, man, that's some ugly football sense. I like Iowa State to win this game. Baylor's got some games that I didn't think that they were going to get, but Iowa State, they're playing good football right. Well, they're playing passable football right now. They're playing good enough football to beat Baylor. Let's put it that way, okay? 2.5 feels pretty fair. Let's say they win by a field goal. Okay, I think they covered that spread. Okay, yeah, Paul's picking ISU. Paul's picking West Virginia. We're on the same page. Thank you, Paul. Loved your letter to the Corinthians. Okay, so I'll save this next game till last because this is the game that I'm most excited about. So first, let's talk about Cincinnati going to Oklahoma State. Cincinnati just dropping a home game to Baylor. I mean, here's the thing. Oklahoma State's a 7.5-point favorite. There should be no world in which Oklahoma State loses this game. They've been playing extremely well. Cincinnati's playing extremely not well. This feels like the kind of stupid game that Oklahoma State would lose, just doing an Oklahoma State thing. But they should not lose this game. Okay, short of a Southern Alabama, what the hell just happened situation, Oklahoma State wins this game, I think. All right. Yeah, Paul agrees. OSU clearly. Okay. So if things go the way they're supposed to go, Oklahoma State wins this game comfortably. Okay. But college football being college football, man, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if I turn on the TV at 7 and I'm like, why? Why is Oklahoma State letting Cincinnati hang around? What is going on? Right. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if that happens. But give me Oklahoma State comfortably. Now, the game that I'm excited about. Okay. I think this is the most exciting game on the docket, if only because of history, right? Texas hosting BYU. Texas is a 17.5-point favorite. Is BYU elite this year? No, they're not elite. Okay. I don't think anybody in the country is elite this year. Let me put that out there. Okay. But BYU has a shockingly good record against Texas. Oh, and thank you, Chris. Yes, here we go. Brigham Young almost undefeated against Texas, have a 4-1 advantage over the history of the schools. Yes. And some of y'all may remember those games. Oh my God, what's his name? Who plays for the Saints? Going down to Texas, in the throes of Texas's horrible years, right? And just beating the crap out of them, right? And here you go. BYU's got an opportunity. Texas, Quinn Ewers is out. They got Malik, what's his face, starting at quarterback, potential future star for TCU. I'm putting that out there into the universe, right? Hey, you can't play all three quarterbacks, either Arch Manning or this Malik kid. One of them is going to transfer. You know it's going to happen, all right? Can BYU make some magic happen? Can they play on, strap on your holy underwear, channel some of that past magic, Coleb, give me all you got, all right? I don't know. I mean, hey, I'm not going to pick it to happen, but it'd be freaking funny if it did. Let's just put it that way. It'd be freaking funny if it did. Oh my God. I can't remember. Yo, I'm so frustrated. I can't remember. It was like 2011, 2010, somewhere in there that BYU just took Texas to the freaking woodshed. And it was that kid who plays for the Saints now who just ran all over them. Hold on. We're going to have a super unprofessional Google sesh right here. We're going to try and find this out. BYU, Texas, was it 2014 actually? There it is, Taysom Hill. Shame on all of y'all for not remembering Taysom Hill's name, okay? Jake Heaps was the top recruit in Texas one. Okay, well, we're talking about Jake Heaps. I'm talking about Taysom Hill whenever BYU beat Texas 41-7. Oh, let it happen. Let it happen. Let it happen again. 2014, not the greatest of years for Texas. What better times, 2014? If only we could hang 82 on Texas Tech next week. If only. Okay. Will says, if it was in Provo, I think BYU may win, but I think the Longhorns win in Austin. Well, but hey, I mean, yes, but, Wyoming gave UT fits in Austin. There's nothing inherently magical about Austin, right? There really isn't. Okay. But yeah, let's get some of that Taysom Hill magic. Come on, Keaton Slovis. Channel that Taysom Hill energy, right? But suddenly become a massively effective runner. All right. So that's the week that was. That's the week that's about to be. I'm fixing to have to go to the airport, y'all. I'm so sorry it's a short show today, but I hope you enjoyed it. Again, put some predictions out there. Let's see some of y'all's predictions. I want to know what y'all are thinking. Let's see if we can share them before I have to go. This is the Biggest 12. Again, subscribe at Big 12 VOCFB on YouTube here. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I want y'all to be here every week. Usually we're Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Central Time. Had to move it up a little bit today because I'm trying to keep my busy self running, okay? I am Clint Foster. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel at Clint Foster Comedy. Had to post an abridged video this week, not because I didn't have a script prepared. I'll even show y'all, okay? Just to show you that, like, I was ready to go. Like, I got a whole stinking script right here, all right? Whole script for TCU Kansas State. Well, the glare's on it. Kansas State. See, K-State. Okay, I wrote a whole script, but I was like, Monday we came around, I'm like, oh my God, how have I still not recorded this thing? I don't have enough time to edit this thing. What am I going to do? Quick video that's out there. But usually, and hey, because we're going in the bye week, I know I've had some people bristle in the comments, why? It's all TCU during football season. Well, you know what? That's my community. That's what initially got me my following. I want to honor that. You know, I love doing my TCU recaps. But bye week, I'm going to come up with something for y'all, something more broader Big 12. We'll get the funnies going, okay? So subscribe to me there. Follow me on Twitter or X, whatever floats your boat, at Clint_Foster55. Been talking a lot about the Rangers lately, so, you know, maybe that's something that gets you excited. It's certainly something I'm excited about. Let's keep doing this thing, man. Let's grow the show. Tell all your friends. Tell your Aunt Ruth. Tell everybody, all right? We want to make this a party every Tuesday night, okay? I know it's a bridge today. But let's see. Okay, nobody's wanting to put receipts out there. Nobody wants to make any predictions. Okay, here we go. Brigham Young 5-2. Is Brigham Young winning 5-2? I'll take it, Chris. You know what? I know this is probably isn't what you mean, but if BYU beats Texas 5-2, I will laugh hysterically for 24 hours straight. It'll be wonderful. I hope that happens. Okay, so this has been the Biggest 12. Thank y'all so very much for tuning in. Again, I'm sorry that it's a short show this week, but y'all are the reason. I do this. Okay, thank you for being here. Go Big 12. I hope your teams win, even if they're playing each other. I hope they win. As long as Oklahoma and Texas lose, that's what we're all wishing for here. Okay, y'all be well. Subscribe, like, follow. And I'll see you next week on the Biggest 12.